Yeah, now it's like different numbers now. It's like 30, 50, 54. I'm not kidding. They have control of that clock? Oh, now it's changing again. Is she flickering with it?
No.
I mean, I don't care, but that doesn't affect me really.
But we must know.
But it.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel...
She's back there. They're like messing with stuff.
It says feminism is equality politically, socially, economically, and...
So you know the clock that's on top of camera 2?
It's definitely all jacked up.
It keeps changing its time.
It's like all jacked up.
It was at like 12:25 and it was at 10 something, now it's at 1:21.
It's like all jacked up.
She had to write it up. She doesn't know why it's doing it.
It is all jacked up.
She's like, it's haunted. She's like, okay.
She's like, great, thank you. Ugh.
That's exactly why people, that's why I put it at the beginning.
Mic check 1 2 3. Testing. Mic check 1 2.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11 in HD.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cameron Taylor. Thank you for joining us tonight. In solidarity with women across the country, people here in Chattanooga gathered at Coolidge Park today to march for equality. Photojournalist Timothy Bradfield was there and files this report.
It says feminism is equality politically, socially, economically, and culturally. It basically represents what feminism is.
Just thinking about the fact of equality and love and coming from that place. Just kind of a fun reminder of that, though. It's a serious thing, but it is a kind of a lighthearted way of thinking about it.
We are here today standing in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and cities across our country, just as countless other strong women have before, demanding a greater equality that ensures all of our women, citizens, and their families have the same equal recognition and platforms to prosper and thrive.
I think when they say we the people, it means a lot. And so it takes all of us as a we, in that we the people, to come out as one voice to be heard. And the more of us that come out, the louder that voice is heard.
In Washington, 500,000 or more gathered to take part in the Women's March. In fact, so many turned out that the march never really moved that much. The crowd stretched the length of the planned 2-mile walk. Jay Gray was in the middle of what exploded into an international movement.
The streets in National Mall started to fill early, some climbing trees, others standing on cars. 500,000 or more taking over the capital city.
You're just going to run into barriers. You got to head north to head west.
The direction for most here was clear, evident from the homemade signs that so many were carrying and the words that echoed from the crowd.
This is what democracy looks like.
And the stage, where dozens of celebrities joined the grassroots effort.
If we do not stand together, march together, fight together for the next 4 years, then we will lose together.
Unity shared by tens of thousands topped in pink.
It is a symbol of the woman grabbing back.
And while the new president was a primary target for many of the women and men here, the message runs deeper.
To me, it's about what we're for instead of what we're against. We're for women. We're for equality.
There were hundreds of sister marches across the country, but the flashpoint was Washington.
It's just important for me right now to engage in our democracy.
A march and message that hundreds of thousands across the country hope will resonate in the nation's capital. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
Here in the Tennessee Valley, new details tonight in a story we first brought you Thursday on Eyewitness News at 11. The Georgia State Patrol is investigating a head-on collision in Walker County that involved a state prison van. The driver was Walker State Prison Fire Chief Matthew Mann. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Kate Smith spoke with Mann's family about what happened and his condition.
For 10 years, Matthew Mann has been fire chief at Walker State Prison. His twin brother says he loves being a firefighter and dedicates a lot of his time working with his crew.
Sometimes he works 35 hours straight, sometimes longer, so you won't find more dedication than he's captain at Station 15 for Walker County also.
He and his department were on their way to Rossville when they were involved in a head-on collision. The chief suffered multiple leg and arm fractures, along with internal bleeding. He was transported to Erlanger. The family says he's a fighter, and they are hopeful he will make a full recovery.
We were in there and we told him, and he scrunched up his hands really hard, and he had his knuckles all white from squeezing her hand, and that's little, but we'll take it.
They don't know when he will be able to leave the ICU or how many more surgeries he will face. But with the power of prayer, they know he will return home to his family and fire department as soon as possible.
Hour by hour, next surgery is this, the next surgery is that. That's as far as we plan.
And that was Kate Smith reporting for us tonight. The prison's fire department has existed since the late 1970s. Inmate firefighters must complete the same training requirements as volunteer and full-time firefighters in Georgia. And due to Chief Mann's injuries, he needed over 50 units of blood. The Georgia Department of Corrections has organized a blood drive in honor of the chief. If you wish to donate blood, check with your local blood assurance. Well, friends of a Walker County woman who authorities say was killed by her boyfriend are honoring her tonight. Those who were close to 29-year-old Candace Hankins held a candlelight vigil in her hometown of Athens, Alabama. They shared memories of her, released pink balloons, and lit candles in her memory at Piney Chapel Elementary. That's where Hankins went to elementary school. Walker County Sheriff Steve Wilson told us investigators found her body wrapped in a blanket in the woods near her boyfriend's home on Wheeler Road in Lafayette earlier this week. One of Hankins' family members told the sheriff Candace was about 4 months pregnant at the time of her death. Wilson says they're waiting on an autopsy to confirm that. 3 women were shot early this morning in Chattanooga. Police tell us it happened around 240 on East 3rd Street. Now, officers were originally called to the hospital after the women showed up there. They told police they were shot at while they were in a car. Officers aren't sure who shot the women, but they're expected to be okay from the shooting. The victims from last night's shooting and crash on East 12th Street have been identified by Chattanooga police as 23-year-old Jamoki Johnson and 20-year-old Christopher Woodard. Now, officers say the two men were in a car when they were shot and ultimately crashed into another car as a result. Now, it's unclear if they died from the shooting or the crash. If you have any information on either of these cases, call Chattanooga Police. The Hamilton County School Board is inching their way to a decision on bus transportation and its future with independent drivers. In a strategic planning session today, board members voted to grant independent drivers more bus routes. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Tanisha Cordell was at that meeting and has the story.
When are we going to decide?
Board members met for nearly 5 hours discussing the district's future plans. It ended with a 6-3 vote granting independent drivers 20 more routes. Jason Welsh, the spokesperson for the district's independent drivers, says he's confident they will eventually take over all of the district's routes.
Obviously, we would like to have more, but I feel pretty good about the direction that the board is going. What we offer is an excellent product, and our safety is, top. I mean, it's a top in the nation.
Assistant Superintendent Lee McDade says if they offer those 20 new drivers full benefits, it would cost $1.2 million. But drivers for Durham School Services say they feel left out.
No one has ever sat down to talk with Durham drivers to see about, how this platform should go about.
Janelle Owens believes the board's decision on the heels of the Woodmore crash created two sides.
We're all bus drivers, all under one umbrella, and we're being boxed and set aside, and it's whether this group is good or this group is bad, and it shouldn't be like that.
Fear of job loss is what worries her most.
If you're going to get rid of Durham, just say, look, we're getting rid of you all. You might want to go look for another job.
But Welsh says Durham drivers will be considered for future hires.
So they don't need to feel anxious. They're not going to be laid off or anything like that. I mean, we're going to look for the best that we can get, and that'll be the first place we start.
Owens hopes the future of school transportation in Hamilton County benefits everyone.
Tanisha Cordell reporting for us tonight. Board members also unanimously voted to move forward with more bids from bus contractors for the remaining bus routes. Well, it was a soggy morning for volunteers at the Chattanooga National Cemetery. Cub Scout troops along with young Marines spent the morning picking up 8,000 wreaths that were laid over the holidays in honor of the fallen. Today's event helps the young men earn service hours and also helps keep the Chattanooga National Cemetery looking neat. Well, let's head over to Storm Alert meteorologist Nick Austin. And Nick, is it going to be overcast tomorrow as it was today?
We might see a few peaks of sun, but I tell you, it was a soggy morning, and then the rain ended a little sooner than we thought it would. And didn't hear too many complaints about the sun coming out, though. It was a nice afternoon. Holiday Inn downtown Camera. Yeah, some folks still out and about. Skies are clouding up once again, and we will see the rain approaching later on tonight. Right now, across our viewing area, high and dry, clean and green on the radar. Not much to see until you get down towards the Gulf Coast and across the deep south from Jackson, Mississippi to Montgomery, Alabama, southwest Georgia. Heavy, strong, and even severe thunderstorms along a warm front that's moving northward towards us. I don't think we'll see a lot of severe weather, but we will see this wave of showers, some heavy rain and storms heading towards us as we head through the late night hours and into the first part of tomorrow. Little Rock getting slammed with some heavy storms right now, too. It's all wrapping around this low pressure system as well that's developing over the Central Plains, northern Texas, and the panhandle of Oklahoma. So we'll continue to see this development and the rain moving our way late tonight. But we still have a few more hours or so of dry weather before the rain arrives. We do have some foggy weather right now with the breaks in the clouds and still wet ground from the rain earlier and light winds during the evening from near Murphy down into northeast Georgia and also up across parts of Grundy County and up along Walden's Ridge and the Plateau. Some areas of dense fog have developed, so be careful traveling through those spots. We still could see other areas of fog developing overnight as well before that rain moves back in. 51 Knoxville, 59 in Nashville right now. It's a warm 62 in Memphis. Right here in Chattanooga, 58 at the airport, 57 Dalton, Cleveland, you're at 54, and it's right around 51 for Murphy and Pikeville right now. Light winds out of the southeast. The breezes will pick up a bit overnight, and the approximate timing of the rain around the Atlanta metro area, we'll see some rain and storms by around midnight to 1 o'clock. That might include Fort Payne as well, but later in the night, around 3 to 4 in the morning, is when we'll see across northern Alabama and our Georgia counties when the scattered showers and storms will be moving in. And then after about 4 a.m. is when they'll start to cross over into Tennessee and North Carolina. Now, by around 8 o'clock in the morning, much of this is probably going to be out of the way. Wet streets, but not a lot of rain falling probably as you're heading out to church tomorrow morning. But by around lunchtime, 1 o'clock, we'll see some more scattered showers and some thunderstorms moving through during the afternoon hours, and then those will kind of taper off later in the evening after about 6 or 7 o'clock. But then late tomorrow night into Monday, wrapping around that low pressure, that counterclockwise swirl, we'll see on the backside of the system some more rain showers coming back on Monday with cooler weather too, and some very breezy conditions as well for Monday. Now, when we see the storms in some spots later tonight and tomorrow, the breezes could pick up as well. Could see some gusty winds, maybe another 1 to 2 inches of rain for some spots across our viewing area. But the worst of the severe weather and the worst storms tonight and tomorrow will be well off to the south of us. We're in one of the lowest risk categories for severe weather tonight and tomorrow, so that's the good news. If we see any storms reach severe limits tonight or tomorrow, it'll only be in isolated spots. It's not going to be a major severe weather event. But we still could see some high winds and some spots of hail with the storms tomorrow. 66 and 50 were your Saturday low and high temperatures. So it was a nice mild day, about 1/3 of an inch of rain at the airport. And about 1/2 an inch for Lafayette, Georgia, 1/3 of an inch or so for Dalton. But Chatsworth picked up 1.1, so did Fort Payne, Alabama. About 2/10 right here at Channel 3. Cleveland, Delano, about 4/10, about 3/10 up in Dunlap and up on Mowbray Mountain as well. Our Skywatcher Danny in Colmont heard a little thunder this morning, but only about 2/10 of an inch of rain, about 1/2 an inch from Etowah down to Murphy and Turtletown. 53 degrees for the low tonight, mostly cloudy, showers and storms coming in after about 3 a.m. Those will end early tomorrow, and then during the afternoon, more showers and storms, 64. A few more showers off and on tomorrow night with a low of 49. Your 7-day forecast, some more showers on Monday with highs only in the 50s, so we're going to cool off. And then I think we'll dry out for most of the work week. There's that 7-day forecast. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, mostly dry weather, very little chance for rain. And then late in the week, it'll feel like winter finally with highs only in the 40s. So it does cool off a lot late in the week.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Nick.
You bet.
Well, up next on Eyewitness News at 11, the movie Hidden Figures continues to top the charts, and one actress is making sure people can see it at no cost. Plus, a big day on the hardwood at UTC, a doubleheader for Mocs fans in SoCon play as the Lady Mocs took on UNCG and the Mocs played Samford. We'll have the highlights. Welcome back. Sean Spicer scolded the media during his first public statements as President Donald Trump's press secretary. Now, Spicer accused the media of falsely reporting the number of people who attended the inauguration and doing so deliberately. He says no one had numbers because the National Park Service, which controls the National Mall, didn't release them. He also added that floor coverings used to protect the mall grass highlighted empty spaces and fencing pushed thousands of people back. Spicer called this reporting shameful and left without taking any questions from the press. Bush family aides say the conditions of former President George H.W. Bush and wife Barbara Bush have continued to improve over the past 24 hours. Staff members say Mrs. Bush could possibly be discharged from Houston Methodist Hospital tomorrow. George Bush Sr. will remain in the ICU for observation for a few more days. Staff members say the former president is breathing well on his own and that his spirits are high. The new movie Hidden Figures maintains its #1 spot at the box office, and the film's stars are working to make sure everyone gets a chance to see it, regardless of whether they can afford to. Atlanta singer Janelle Monáe, who plays Mary Jackson in the film, is offering a free screening tomorrow in Morrow, Georgia. She announced the plan yesterday on her social media accounts. Now, tickets will be on a first-come, first-served basis. The film chronicles the team of African-American women working behind the scenes at NASA who helped to launch the first American into space. And we'll have sports right after the break. Stay with us.
This senior class especially deserves to play in front of a crowd like that every.
Tennessee and Falcons.
This senior class especially deserves to play in front of a crowd like that every single night. They do, because they love this university, they love this town, they love playing for this university, and they deserve to play in front of that crowd every night, in my opinion. And I thought it was great.
UTC had quite the crowd today for their doubleheader in McKenzie Arena, where Mocs fans got to see quite the show. First, a last-second nail-biter for the Lady Mocs, followed by another last-second nail-biter for the men. But despite the drama, UTC walked away 2-0 on the day. Let's first start with the men, who came into today with a 4-game winning streak, looking to keep it alive against the 4-2 Samford Bulldogs. And after not playing for an entire week, Mocs started off firing. First, Greg Pryor sinks the 3 to give Chattanooga a 7-point lead. Then Justin Toyo slams the dunk to extend it. The Mocs led by as much as 19 points in the first half. Toyo, Casey Jones, and Trey McLean finished in double figures on the night, with Trey leading the way with 23. But the visitors slowly but surely chipped away at the lead. Samford's Wyatt Walker with the basket here to cut the lead to 5 with just 1 minute to go. The Bulldogs then start fouling, but the Mocs struggled from the free throw line, making just 26 of 35, most of which came in the last minute of the game. Then Samford's Demetrius Denzel Dyson drives to the basket to now make it a 3-point game with 30 seconds left. Trey misses a crucial free throw, giving Samford one last chance to tie it. Bulldogs draw up a beautifully executed play, leaving Tristan Chambers open, but the pass goes right off his hands. Mocs hold on to win it by 4, 82-78 that final.
I was proud. I was proud of our team, obviously, down the stretch there, didn't do a great job closing the game out. I thought we guarded the right way, but we didn't do a great job closing the game out at the free throw line, which, it's a focus level, and we didn't flinch, kept playing the game, and got a really good quality win to keep us in a good position right now.
Stay focused, step up and hit the shots. We've been working on them. We can't let a couple free throws just feel like you let the team down every time you go shoot. You feel me? Like, you can't really think about it too much. It's a late game. You feel like everything's on you, so you just got to go there and just hit the shots.
And the men weren't the only ones with a win today at the Roundhouse. Like I mentioned, the Lady Mocs remain undefeated in conference play after taking on UNCG earlier this afternoon. The Spartans kept it close for most of the first half. Kiana Gilbert pulls up for the jumper there to extend the UTC lead to 6 in the first. Then, just before the break, Lakeland Bolden gets a tip and Chelsea Schumpert races down the court for the bucket and one. Chattanooga led 35-24 at the half. Lady Mocs then dominated the third period and led by 19, similar to the men, 19 at one point. Queen Alfred with the easy lay-in there. It wasn't until the fourth period that Spartans started to make their comeback. Bailey Williams sinks the three to now bring it within 5. Then shortly after, it's Shanice Harris with the triple to make it a 2-point game. Lady Mocs up 55-53 with 3 minutes to go, but Mocs didn't panic. Schumpert is fouled, hits one free throw to make it a 3-point game. 10 seconds left, but UNCG runs out of time as the Lady Mocs hold on to win it 58-55 that final.
I think we took things for granted. I think we assumed that this was a team that rolls over, and it's anything but.
Our effort was there. We were going after loose balls and things like that. Then in the second half, I think we slacked up a lot on the defensive end. Knowing the roles there, we weren't there, players weren't there, and that's when they started getting open shots and coming back, and we didn't respond well to that. So I think that's what we need to get better at.
And also on the hardwood today, Tennessee men's basketball team was able to storm past Mississippi State 91-74 in Thompson Bowling Arena. Robert Hubbs III scored 19 points to lead 4 Vols in double digits tonight. UT's 91 points in the win marked its most in SEC play this season and the most MSU has surrendered this year. Next up, Tennessee will play number 5 Kentucky on Tuesday. Well, who better to help with the Tennessee athletic director search than legendary Vol, Peyton Manning himself? That's right, you heard me. Peyton Manning is just one member of a 6-person committee put together to help with UT's search for a new AD. Browns owner Jimmy Haslam is also part of that committee that was assembled by incoming Chancellor Beverly Davenport. Tennessee also announced yesterday that it has hired the turnkey sports and entertainment search firm to assist the school as well. All right, that's it for sports. One last look at your weather when we come back.
All right, welcome back. And Nick, we're going to see some sunshine tomorrow. I think that's what a lot of people are wanting to know.
Maybe a few peaks.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
But also some rain again. So we have to
Okay.
watch out for that. The rain is coming back, but not until later tonight. Probably it'll be after 3 a.m. when we maybe see some heavy rain, possibly some thunderstorms too. And then it'll kind of wind down just shortly after sunrise tomorrow. And we'll have highs in the 60s again tomorrow. Could see some more showers and storms though coming back tomorrow afternoon, off and on showers tomorrow night as well.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Nick. Well, that's it for us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Have a good night.
Score needs to be on the full screen.
Did not update. It's supposed to be 91 to 74.
91 to 74. Who got 91? Who got 74?
Vols got 91.
Vols got 91.
Did it not update again?
You need anything else?
Gosh darn it.
9, 8, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Class especially deserves. This senior class especially deserves to play in front of a crowd like that every single night. They do, because they love this university, they love this town, they love playing for this university, and they deserve to play in front of that crowd every night, in my opinion. And I thought it was great.
You heard him. UTC had quite the crowd yesterday for their doubleheader in McKenzie Arena, where Mocs fans got to see quite the show. First, a last-second nail-biter for the Lady Mocs, followed by another last-second nail-biter for the men. But despite all the drama, UTC walked away 2-0 on the day. Let's first start with the men, who came into Saturday with a 4-game winning streak, looking to keep it alive against the 4-2 Samford Bulldogs. And well, not after not playing for an entire week, Mocs started off firing. Greg Pryor sinks the 3 to get things started, giving Chattanooga a 7-point lead. Then Justin Toyo slams the dunk to extend it. The Mocs led by as much as 19 in the first half. Toyo, Casey Jones, and Trey McLean finished in double figures on the night, with Trey leading the way with 23. But the visitors slowly chipped away at that lead. Samford's Wyatt Walker with the basket to cut the lead to 5 with just 1 minute left to play. The Bulldogs then start fouling, but Mocs struggled last night from the free throw line, making 26 of 35, most of which came in the last minute of the game. Samford's Demetrius Denzel Dyson then drives to the basket to make it a 3-point game with just 30 seconds left. Trey McLean misses a crucial free throw here, giving Samford with a chance to tie it. Bulldogs draw up this beautifully executed play, but Tristan Chambers, who was going to have a wide open shot, the pass goes right off his hands. Mocs hold on to win it by 4, 82-78 that final.
I was proud. I was proud of our team, you know. Obviously, you know, down the stretch there, didn't do a great job closing the game out. I thought we guarded the right way, but we didn't do a great job closing the game out at the free throw line, which, you know, it's a focus level, you know. And we didn't